So you probably already saw the story about the obese woman who suing Lyft. And at first I thought it was Uber, but feel like it was important for me to input things on a different perspective. And just based off of I was a Lyft driver as well, and I was in a similar situation before, not as extreme, but essentially this is a result of the entitlement that is peppered over these girls' minds on a day-to-day basis, and we need to discuss this.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car?
Deja Blandings recorded it all. Her Lyft driver pulling up only to turn her down.
I was too big, and his tires, something about his tires. I asked him, what do I have to do with your tires?
You have everything to do with his tires. Forget about the suspension on his car, because clearly that guy cares more about his car than you do your body. The weight that you carry literally is deducting years off of your life, and you just sitting here just wondering why. Like, come on.
This happened January 18th. The 29-year-old Detroiter was headed to a Lions watch party, only she never got there.
I just want to point out that these news outlets are super toxic and enable anything that's toxic and destructive.
So you telling me I can't get in the Lyft because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in the car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The driver told her she needed to request an XL car.
I was embarrassed, and I feel some type of way about it.
She's hired a lawyer and is suing Lyft.
Well, from a legal standpoint, it seems like obvious discrimination. The Elliott-Larsen Act, which is Michigan's Civil Rights Act, specifically protects people from weight discrimination. And the driver here turned down her ride because of her weight.
Deja says this experience has scarred her.
I haven't really left my house since that.
She hopes this lawsuit will change how people treat others of all sizes.
Shouldn't have to pay for extra for a Uber XL.
While Lyft does not comment on pending litigation, they did send us this statement saying, quote, Lyft unequivocally condemns all forms of discrimination. We believe in a community where everyone is treated with equal respect and mutual kindness. Our community guidelines and terms of service explicitly prohibit harassment or discrimination. Reporting in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
So there you have it. I got quite a few things to say about this situation, because this is the reason why things are going on here. So some of the points that I have is she never got to the party. Now, as a used to be Lyft driver, right? If a rider cancels on you, then you get a new ride. Okay, you get a new ride, a new person, a new individual with different beliefs or whatever the case is, right? So I don't know how she wasn't able to get to the party. She probably felt some type of way. But that brings me to the next point, which was she said that she was embarrassed. Well, not embarrassed enough, okay? Because she's also a rapper. Okay, she's also a rapper. I'll have to touch on some stuff that I didn't see really talked about from other creators. She is a rapper, so on the note of her feeling embarrassed, she wasn't too embarrassed to be flaunt, like, cause she does the typical bad B stuff, like, the selfies in the mirror, the constant looking at yourself, the long bat wind lashes, and it's sad because she's a pretty girl, but she's dramatically overweight. I mean, it's not healthy. But if you see her in this typical ratchet video, everybody's like standing up, sitting on the car, whatever. They got her in a chair, just like on the side. And I presume it's because she can't stand for too long without getting out of breath. Like, if you even hear inside of the video, it sounds like she was running track, and like she's like trying to talk through breathing. Okay, yeah, she's just in the chair. And then there was another lyric she said in here. I'm not even gonna play it for, I don't know if it's like copyright and all that, but where she's saying these bees are underneath her and stuff like that. I mean, that in itself can be considered a threat, because how, like, it's not even like trying to be funny, but it's trying to be real, like, because at the end of the day, she's not even respecting herself. It's just wild. Like, she not embarrassed or nothing. She shows and flaunts her weight online. She has all these selfies in the world. She do her thing. She was in there, this video bopping and doing all of that. She not embarrassed about her weight. Because if you were embarrassed, you would try to do something about your weight instead of trying to flaunt this as some type of thing to put on top on, put on high. Now, I don't know everybody's health issue, but for the most part, most people that are morbidly obese, you obese because you obese. There's a way to lose weight, and that's just called not eating. Okay, there's people, you can fast. Yes, you can fast for a very long time as long as you drinking water. If there's nothing for your body to consume and to get to gain or anything, you gonna lose weight. I don't want to hear any of it. But another thing that I want to note on this is the discrimination. Now, being a person that used to do Lyft, I there was a situation that happened where I was in Center City and I had to go pick somebody up. Now, according to, as a Lyft driver, Uber driver, you are like a contractor. You do not work for Lyft. You don't work for Uber or whatever you doing, Walmart, Spark, you doing DoorDash, whatever you doing. You don't work for that company. So you could pick and choose what you want to do. You could go to the restaurant and say, man, it's dirty in here. You know what? I'm going to cancel this order. Why? Because I don't work for this company. I choose to take this. So when the same thing that goes for your ride. If you are in your ride and that's your car that you paying for monthly, that you're getting screwed over by, because all this interest, if you're doing a car note, you having to pay that, you having to keep up with your car maintenance, you have to keep up with oil changes, you have to keep up with all of these things. So if you in your car and you don't want to take somebody up, it's up to you. Now, yes, there are people that could take advantage of this. They say, oh, I don't want to take up a black person, which I've never experienced that personally in my story, whatever the case is. Maybe it done happen, I didn't even know, and the person that canceled saw that the name, I mean, even though my name isn't, particularly, but at the end of the day, even though my name isn't like a I guess your stereotypical ghetto sounding name or whatever the case is, I I haven't experienced that personally, but there does leave room. But most people, I would like to think, when you're doing Lyft and Uber, when you're doing DoorDash, when you're doing those type of things, the rent is due and you don't have the rent. Now you having to count day by day. The light bill, you got the shut off notice and you need to go do X, Y, and Z. People that do these jobs, they typically do it because they're living paycheck to paycheck. They're in between jobs. They don't feel like they don't have a choice but to do this right now. They just got to take care of what they got to take care of in this moment. That's why a lot of these apps take advantage and take way too much, but that's a whole nother thing. But anywho, so if you come up, so I was in a situation similar to this, but this situation is way more extreme because this woman is definitely super morbidly obese. I can only imagine, like, so I pull up, this guy comes. I wouldn't be surprised if he touched, I would say at the very least 300. Wouldn't be surprised if he touched 4 on the scale, right? And I contemplated in my head. Okay, I contemplated in my head. I'm like, damn. Immediately, I thought about my suspension. Immediately. If you are a car owner or a car renter or whatever, you thinking of because everything on that car is a part that you just trying not to have break. You trying to just have it be intact because you have to go from point A to point Z, and then you have to deal with the gas prices and the BS, right? So you just trying, that's your source, especially if it's your only source of income. So obviously I thought about it. I looked over at the ride. How long am I going to have to do this for? I see it's like at least 20 to 25 minutes. I'm like, damn. All right. You see, you think about these things. It's not because I hate people that are bigger. Like, it's not because I don't like you because you're this, that, and the third. It is nothing personal whatsoever. My God, I have to pay this bill. I have to think about whether or not, because people could say like, oh, you're over exaggerating. You're not going to be driving with the person, and then your wheels pop or your suspension just goes out. No. When you're a driver, you're thinking about, when you're a driver, you're a person that has a car, you're thinking about the future, because at the end of the day, that's why you look at your odometer. You look at your miles. Okay, people need to stop acting like they don't know what it is. You look at your miles, right? You're the reason why you like, damn, I'm not gonna buy a car that's 50,000 miles. I'm not gonna buy a car or 100,000 miles, depending on the make and model. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna buy this vehicle because because you're gonna be like, dag, you're gonna think about all of the wear and tear and all of the things, the potholes, especially if you live in Philly, the potholes that are going that mess up. It's a specific name for it,
Sway bars and bushels.
but it's the it you could probably hear it rattling if you've driven in Philly long enough, going through the craters, right? It's about the wear and tear. It's about how long do I have potentially until there's something that I have to pay for. So that man, that Lyft driver was thinking about, dag, I take this person, and instead of another six, let's say, for example, instead of it being, if I do normal wear and tear, which Uber and Lyft is not normal because you're doing more miles, but let's say you do normal wear and tear with Uber and Lyft for the next 6 months, I can expect to have to probably work on my suspension. Well, if he took that girl, who, like, it's a very high possibility that now you've just done cut that time in half, and maybe you got to go to see the mechanic in 3 months, and you're not trying to go do these things right away, because Uber and Lyft, they love to say that they're a tech company when it benefits them, and then when it don't benefit them, oh, with the rides and vehicles and stuff like that. But then they want to put their 2 cents in. They want to put their they want to, well, not even that, because they're not paying the drivers any. They want to put their opinion in something when they're just getting heat. That's it. Okay, because the girl, she in the car or whatever the case, they don't pay for the oil changes. Yeah, they had the little discount program, but it's not really, it's a scam, because they set up the algorithm so that you keep your acceptance rate at a certain rate. So they give you BS all day, and then they recoup. They're not paying for your oil change. You paid for your oil change because they took the money out of the rides. Okay, that's why you have to be, my acceptance rate is extra low, because I'm not trying to accept no BS on these apps. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, the fact that you as a that's why I said the accountability, this is a result of the feminism in this world. Like, it is just wild. And these countries, these westernized countries that promote women could do anything that they want. They could feel however they want to feel. This man probably had a bill to pay, had all these things that they pay a family that he got to feed. He's just thinking of the thing. When your car is your main source of income, it becomes scary when you have to do X, Y, and Z. And the guy was polite too. He wasn't saying, oh yeah, F out of here. Like, he wasn't doing all of that. He wasn't saying all of that. He just said, listen, all right, it's hard. It's a tough thing for me to say right now, but I don't want to take you in my car. Because why? Because I have to pay for my car. You only in this car for however long. I've been in situations where I'll go on Walmart Spark, and you get a Sam's Club order, and you go there and you see how much stuff it is, and you like, dang, I think I might cancel this joint. That is way too much luggage. Like, I'm thinking about my suspension. Like, the fact that you can't even, like, just, you already trying to race in this mental bondage that they have algorithmically put together to throw you off, to put you on off course. Then you gotta be slave. You gotta be slave to what people have to say. Oh, what people feel like, oh, I should be entitled. I'm entitled to get into your car because you're not supposed to hurt my feelings. And then this isn't discrimination. This whole thing is complete whack. The discrimination, where they are in Detroit, the discrimination that they have for, oh, you can't discriminate against this, that, and the third, or whatever the case is, that they have lined up is, of course, this country wants you to be morbidly obese. This country wants you to be overweight. They want that big, you know what, the medical industry that controls all of this, the health industry that controls all of this. They want you to be, they're gonna go for that. They're gonna go for the people that are trying to tell you, hey, you shouldn't be this big. All right, you over here, you worried about suing Lyft or whatever the case is, right? But your bones are screaming that you're literally giving them so much work on a daily basis to keep you up. I mean, me just going to the grocery store and picking up a gallon or two of milk or whatever the case is and having to carry, imagine having to just carry that all day, every day, constantly. And that's only 2 gallons of milk. You probably have an extra excess of a few 100 pounds on you that your body has to be trying to work on a daily basis to keep you alive. Even in the video, it sounded like she just ran track. Like, no one's talking about that. The news reporters, they're not going to talk about that. They're going to focus on, oh, well, her feelings are hurt and she's embarrassed. Like, you're not embarrassed. Look at her her accounts or whatever the case is. I haven't even looked at any other accounts, but just based off of her being a rapper in there talking about something, she she above these, all this stuff, but she above these bipping and bopping and pulling up her, having no shame whatsoever. If you were embarrassed, you would look yourself and say, damn, like, I got to do something about my health, not just the physical, but the fact that you're literally you're spherical. You've lost the form, the woman form. And there's different shapes of women. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's not the shape that's the conducive to living. Okay? That's not the shape that will get you to your late 60s, 70s. Okay? I looked it up. The oldest morbidly obese person was, I think it was in 1960, was 19 born in 1945 to 1967 or something like that. They were only 41 when they passed. You don't see morbidly obese old people. Like, it's not a thing, and there's a reason for that. The very people that are around you you're accepting them because they're enabling you, when in reality they're helping you. They're walking you hand in hand to the grave. So I mean, at the end of the day, you can be mad at who you want to be mad at, but the truth is the truth. If you want to, oh, that's shaming, you look up the statistics. Dag, if only her bones could speak. Because right now, when I look at the pictures, I see them, I can hear them screaming, please tell this woman to stop eating. Like, yes, seriously. It's just that is the fact. That's just what it is. You tell me, if you're carrying two big cases of water, are you not going to feel stress? Look at the statistics for I don't even have to look for arthritis, back problems, all the health issues that come with being that size. But no, the guy has to risk his suspension, whether or not, oh yeah, him having to go see the mechanic sooner rather than later. He has to risk that. He has to go to his mechanic sooner than later because of somebody's feelings. Really? Then he said, oh, let the order a Uber XL, which is reasonable. They're built to handle more weight. But that brings me to another note, right? And I'm not coming at the person's character or whatever the case is. That's what people be trying to mix all this emotion and stuff like that. No. It's just the facts of the situation. She's trying to milk money out of these. Well, hopefully she should go and go. She needs to, like, she should she really needs to get things together, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just absolutely wild. Okay, it's a crime for somebody to say, hey, I value, because shoot, the man values his car's body more than she values hers. Like, he values her car. Hey, I value your car, but it's not a crime but she's committing a crime to herself and to her body and to her health. Like, the people around her, they may not, whatever case, she over here trying to sue Lyft, and you you're literally cutting the years of your life to even try to enjoy the money that you're trying so hard to get. It doesn't make sense. But at that note, that's why it's, super essential. And that's why gluttony, that's a sin. Like to that's why it is a sin to overeat. It's a sin to overly indulge into things. And look what it brought about. It brought about unhealthiness. It brought about pain. I know she in pain. She was in that rap video sitting down on a chair instead of bopping it around because she can't bop around and twerk that long. I mean, that's just what it is. It's a fact. Is it true or is it not? And a lot of these people, they get upset and they start snapping because they know that you're right. And that's not discrimination. That's awareness. And I hope that the Lyft driver could find another job, or hopefully Lyft it and it sounds like it, get rid of him on the platform, whatever the case is. That's hopefully, I don't know. But like literally, I yes. This is the stuff that's going to deter people and scare people to not do certain things. That's what they try to do. But I really look at that person, I'm like, yeah, good for you, because you got to stand up for. And I hope that maybe he could decide to sue, because at the end of the day, it's your car. Like, he was very polite. He was just saying, look, my tires. So I don't know if he said anything about his suspension, because that's the thing that I think about. I'm not trying to deal with that. And I could fit, just because you could fit in a car, just because what you call it, 10 15 cases of water can fit in my car, doesn't mean that I want to put it in there. Doesn't mean that I want to be having to deal with those type of things. That's just the simple fact of it. And it comes back to a lot of these women. The entitlement is wild and crazy. Okay, instead of it being for something real, like it's about, oh, you don't want to stop eating, you don't want to stop and take a moment and just say, hey, need to focus on my health. No, instead everybody else has to try to conform and bow down to you, just like how you say in your music. Like, no. All right, but y'all be blessed.